playoff games tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So that's where we go, because it was in our backyard. So over the bridge and through the woods to Superior Choice Credit Union Stadium we go to find the top-seeded Allison DeGroat and her UWS Yellow Jackets taking on Crown College Polar Bears. But this one means more. It's the UMAC playoffs, but these ladies have been here, done that before. Their 7th straight trip as they seek their 4th straight conference championship title. Home field advantage should help the Jackets out. Here's Allison Alessi for the Jackets. She sends it to a sprinting Nia Wilson, who gains control, tricks out all 3 defenders, turns and shoots, and boy, what a beauty that is, right off a Crown defender to give the Jackets the first lead of the night. 1-0. But don't blink. Crown's Emma Domke got the picture-perfect boot to the high left corner right through the hands of Quinn Clark, so that will tie things up at 1. With plenty of time to play, head coach Allison DeGroat is chanting from the sidelines, it's all about our response. It's Hallie Carlson on the penalty kick, a perfect centering feed to the net. And Larson gets a piece of that to net her first collegiate goal to put the Jackets up 2-1 before the bell. After the break, the Jackets would pile on some more offense as they advance to the conference championship on Saturday with a 4-1 win over Crown College. And before the women took to the pitch, Joe Mooney and his fellas took down the Northwestern Eagles in the UMAC semifinals 5-1. They will advance to the UMAC championship against Bethany Lutheran as they seek their 8th consecutive conference title. This one will kick off from the same place tonight at noon on Saturday.